Hello guys, and welcome to a new Girls Frontline video. We've got a new Sentinel joining the field. Meet Lind. She's the latest elite doll in Girls Frontline 2. A corrosion-type Sentinel, whose kit is all about stacking debuffs, triggering damage bursts, and leveraging the enemy's weaknesses. Let's walk through who she is, what her kit does, her signature weapon, and ultimately, should you pull her or not. First, the lore and role. Lind is classified as a Sentinel-class doll, affiliated with the Frostfall Squad after having served under Griffin and Krieger. Her weapon imprint is the AA-12 shotgun series. Her theme is corrosion, meaning her damage and effects revolve around applying and exploiting corrosion debuffs on enemies. In short, she's a heavy hitters type, but with a twist. She needs the right conditions to shine. Alright, let's break down Lind's kit piece by piece. Her basic attack deals physical damage. Nothing flashy, but foundational. Her active skill 1 is a fan-shaped AoE attack in front of her. It deals corrosion damage, and its damage increases based on how many debuffs the enemies have. Before the damage, it also applies some random strong debuffs to each target. After using it, Lind gains Confectance Index, which is sort of a resource she builds. Her ultimate skill uses up the Honey Trap debuff stacks, applies powerful debuffs to the enemy, dispels buffs from them, and deals AoE corrosion damage. The more debuffs present, the better. Now for her passive and traits, Lind has a number of traits that modify her behavior. For example, at the start of turn she gains a quick barrier. After using her active skills, she gains extra movement, which allows extra turn actions. Also, she can select one allied doll that then cannot move or use active skills for the rest of battle. But doing so reduces all enemy defense. Lind also gains extra movement. Another trait is, if her ultimate hits only one enemy, she gets increased damage. And when Lind attacks enemies with debuffs, her element damage is increased. Now for her special mechanics, Sugar Stacks and Honey Trap. Honey Trap is a debuff she applies to enemies. When triggered, it applies powerful debuffs, dispels buffs, and launches an AoE corrosion damage. Sugar is a stack she gains when enemies with Honey Trap die, or when she or allies deal corrosion damage. These stacks boost her corrosion damage output. So in short, Lind's gameplay loop is apply debuffs, build sugar stacks, use her skills when conditions are strong, then deal big corrosion damage. The more debuffs on the enemy, the more she benefits. Now, what makes Lind good and where she really shines? Well, she has excellent scaling when the deck is stacked, meaning if the enemy has many debuffs, Lind's S1 and Ultimate hit much harder than average. Her synergy with a corrosion team is strong. If you already have other dolls that apply debuffs, then Lind becomes a force multiplier. Her extra movement gives her flexibility, meaning she can act more than once in a turn under certain conditions, which boosts her utility. Her massive AoE potential makes her good versus grouped enemies or stages where many units can be debuffed and wiped. Moving on to her signature weapon. Lind's signature weapon is a modified AA-12 shotgun that enhances her kit. First, before attacking, damage dealt is increased based on the number of debuffs the enemy has. If the attack deals corrosion damage, this increase is further increased. Also, the AoE damage dealt is increased. If it is AoE corrosion damage, it increases even more. So, if you equip Lind with her signature weapon, and you have done the work to stack debuffs on the enemy, her damage will be significantly higher than if she had a generic weapon. The weapon amplifies exactly her core mechanic. Now, should you pull for her weapon? Well, if you have Lind and you plan to invest in her and your corrosion team is ready, then yes, the signature weapon is worth it, because it magnifies her strongest side. But if you don't yet have many debuff tools or the corrosion team synergies, then the weapon's benefit is diminished. It's also a matter of budget, meaning if pulling for the weapon means skipping something more foundational, like another high-priority doll or weapon, then you may hold off until you're ready. What about Lind, and should you pull for her? I would say yes if you already have a strong corrosion-focused team, especially with Klukai and maybe Mekti. Also, if you are interested in high investment, especially for endgame content where stacking debuffs and massive bursts matter. However, you may want to skip Lind if you are newer to the game and don't yet have many of the required synergy dolls or attachments to make her shine, or if you prefer more flexible plug-and-play dolls who perform well without heavy investment or narrow team requirements. Now, what about Lind, and should you pull for her or not? I would say yes if you already have a strong corrosion-focused team. Also, if you are interested in high investment, especially for endgame content where stacking debuffs and massive bursts matter, then Lind is a great pick. However, you may want to skip Lind if you are newer to the game and don't yet have many of the required synergy dolls or attachments to make her shine, or if you prefer more flexible plug-and-play dolls who perform well without heavy investment or narrow team requirements. To wrap up, Lind is a sniper-style sentinel that trades in debuffs and high-burst corrosion damage. In the right hands and right team, she can be a damage monster. But she does demand conditions and synergy. If your roster's ready, go for her. If you're still building fundamentals, keep an eye on her and pull when the timing is right. I hope you find this quick guide helpful. And like always, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.
デザートはいかがですか？肝消えてなくなれ。ハンデをあげる。お茶をお出ししましょう。消えてなくなれ。降参するな今のうちよ。お待たせしました。予想より